got full lines right now. We got Scott.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How you doing, Scott?
Hey. Oh, pretty good. I've called in a couple of times before to aggravate you guys. Just to give you a recap on...
Hey, have I been good about aggravating you in return?
You've tried.
Thanks.
You've tried. I'm not a theist, but I don't really know what I am. I like to think I'm a true Christian. That being I guess would depend on what you know. I've heard y'all have that discussion.
It would depend on what you define it, because
yeah,
I don't really get to define true Christian. I can tell you what I used to think it was.
Well, and mine continually changes too as I and going to the topic of this of correcting mistakes. Okay, I don't see that the teachings of Jesus, the applicable teachings of Jesus, are at all in contradiction with scientific thought. In fact, I think they are scientific thought in the form of a psychological approach.
Well, if you're talking about if you've got a red letter Bible, if you're talking about just what's in red letters there and attributing that to Jesus, okay.
Yeah, so you understand what I'm saying.
I don't know that he said anything of any significance that it could possibly challenge science on an issue.
Didn't he say that the mustard seed was the smallest seed?
It's the smallest seed in the garden. To be precise.
Well, he also said that salt could lose its flavor, and that's scientifically false. So
that's okay, but you have to consider a few things. Jesus spoke cryptically, and when he said things that were not necessarily true.
No. You don't get to reinterpret and spin this.
Well, no, let me finish. Why don't you let me finish? I've been sitting here for 30 minutes on hold.
Please do.
Well, yeah.
And let me explain to you what I'm saying. Consider the time and the opposition in which he lived. In the society in
How
which
is that relevant to whether or not salt can lose its flavor?
Okay, I'm going to explain it to you.
That's all I want to know.
Okay, and if you'll give me a second, I'll do it.
You got one.
Okay. You got to consider the time in which he lived. He could not speak openly about a lot of things, even if they wouldn't have killed him, which they ended up doing, even though he spoke metaphorically. The people wouldn't have heard him out because they were so dogmatic and ignorant. Okay. It was actually, I see it as ingenious the way that he approached these things. But to point out that salt can lose its flavor, everybody knows that it can't. And that's the whole point. But knowing that and facing that will completely change the meaning of what he said.
No, it's not the whole point. You are respinning this. The verse in context makes no sense if, in fact, it is true, which it is, that salt can't lose its flavor.
That's right.
So
that's right.
You're saying that it's good that it makes no sense because he was really saying the exact opposite of what he was saying in order to portray a different meaning.
Haven't you ever, paid attention that all the religious teachers worth their salt always have taught with metaphor and with contradiction?
I have no problem with metaphors.
Okay.
Hang on, it's my turn.
Okay, go ahead.
You said that there wasn't anything that Jesus said that contradicted science, and I provided one example. I don't really think it's hugely relevant. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem if he was speaking metaphorically, but the thing is that it was false, and you don't get to go back and anachronistically say that, oh, we knew it was false and it was intended to be finally understood that it was false. Now, we get to look back on it. He was speaking to specific people at that time.
Yes.
And saying something that was false. And you're now saying that because we now know that it was false, obviously Jesus must have known it was false, so he meant something else. And that's a link that you don't have any justification for making apart from your assumption that he couldn't have been wrong, so you're respinning it.
No, that's not at all what I'm doing.
You need to actually justify that Jesus intentionally said something false in order to portray a different message.
Okay. And I could do that. I could do that on the very subject that you brought up.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend the rest of your callers' time doing it. I can email you and explain it if you would like.
I'd love that. TV@atheist-community.org because
I promise you that you will. I'm not very good with words. All right.
Obviously, if
you
think that you can take something that is fundamentally false, that within the context of the passage has to be true for the passage to make sense, and then respin it, yeah, there's a problem there.
Okay, but it is a metaphor of a bigger issue.
Metaphors
the thing
tend
he is talking about.
Metaphors tend to be true.
Yes. Well, no, not necessarily.
Yes, necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yes.
I'll cover that.
Yes.
I didn't want to go this direction by calling in.
Okay, then go the other direction.
What I wanted to point out